we'll be answering questions, but we've got a little bit of an agenda here. We'll talk to you about the Bachelor's Master's pathway and why we think it's a beneficial program for you to consider. We have testimonials. One of the most compelling stories, or some of the most compelling stories you'll hear, are from individuals who've done the Bachelor's Master's program who are now doing either transitioning into their Master's or are Bachelor's Master's and Master's alumni. And we want you to hear from them about their experiences, what compelled them to look at the program more closely, and what their experiences were like. We'll also go through the Bachelor's Master's requirements, the graduate areas of study, and review the pairings. We'll discuss how to apply. And then, of course, we'll open it up to your questions. So, what is the Bachelor's Master's program? It's a unique program here at the new school. And it's an opportunity for you as an undergraduate student to demonstrate your capacity to do graduate level work. We know you're intellectually curious. You're someone who's interested in challenging yourself. And you feel that at this point in your undergraduate career, or pretty soon in your undergraduate career, you'd be interested in perhaps raising that benchmark that you've placed on yourself and saying, I can try some graduate level courses. And you want to take advantage and be recognized for those graduate level courses by getting credit that can possibly apply to both the bachelor's, master's, the bachelor's, your undergraduate degree, and a master's. It's an incentive in that you can graduate within approximately 5 years, depending on how many credits you take as an undergraduate, and also the number of credits that your program may have at the master's level in order to complete. You can create a combination of degrees that really reflect your interests, your academic interests, your professional interests, your personal curiosity. And so this is a wonderful opportunity for you to explore those areas. And then finally, the easiest is that it is a simplified application process. We don't require GREs for the students who are in the bachelor's master's program. Some of our master's programs do require them for individuals who are applying directly to the master's, but as a bachelor's master's student, you don't have to worry about standardized tests such as the GREs. Talk to you a little bit about the pathway. So you will declare a major at the undergraduate level. You'll complete 60 credits. You then indicate your interest in the bachelor's master's combination. You're pairing the courses, the relevant courses that you'd like to take that demonstrate your readiness for graduate study. All right, and then you'll put together an application. It'll be reviewed by the admissions office and the faculty in the respective master's programs that you might be interested in. You're also working on completing your bachelor's degree. And once you're done with that, 12 to 18 credits can move from your undergraduate, so they'll complete your undergraduate degree and can then be used towards your master's. And then finally, you complete your master's. As I said, we wanted to have individuals who have experienced bachelor's, master's, are doing the master's, or have completed their master's to share their stories with you. I'm really pleased as the director of the Schools of Public Engagement to introduce a current master's student in the Media Studies program. He's done his bachelor's at the new school as well. And he'll share his story about what's going on right now. So let me introduce Christopher Webster up to the podium. And why don't you tell us about yourself and where you are right now.
Good morning. I got to start with a laugh because it's like, oh, here. Ms. Gasparro, thank you very much. Dr. Williams, thank you very much for having me. I'm not much of a podium guy, so I'm going to slide out of the podium, but I'm going to articulate and raise my voice. So I had been thinking day and night, when I got invited to address you guys, what would I say? So I came up with this question. It's really easy. What's in your wallet?
Excuse me.
And I get a mic. So I am going to ask you again. So, what's in your wallet? What's in your wallet? It's not a trick question. Money. You value money. You value it because it sustains you, it helps you grow, it allows you to progress in life. Unfortunately, our economy is based upon it. But I say to you that it's not the value of the money, but it's the value that you put to earn it. All my life, that's what I've been focusing on, earning the value of the money that I've been trying to generate as an artist. From Philadelphia, born and raised, single parent, raised by my grandmother and mother. Grandmother put a camera in my hand at 7 years old. From then, I became a professional photographer. So I'm going to fast forward you my life in less than 7 minutes. 67, I was born. 77, I got a camera. I had my first exhibition at 10. Like, people paid me at 10 years old for my pictures. And they were flowers and trees and things of that nature. I kept studying. I went to a vocational Catholic school, so I learned how to use my hands. I became the yearbook photographer. I knew my life was going to be in photography. I was the editor for my yearbook. When I graduated, I took an interview with Sports Illustrated. I thought that my 4 yearbooks and all my pictures, and I walked in, 16-year-old ambitious young man, I laid them out in front of this woman, and I said to her, I want to be a Sports Illustrated photographer. She says, Christopher, you have some nice work. But even our freelance photographers are degreed. And then I'm like, in photography? You can get a degree in photography. I thought you learned photography because that's what I was doing. I learned photography. I learned photography from all the other professionals that were on the street, all the other professionals that worked on magazines, and you would meet them in certain circles. And I thought, okay, if I studied under them, this is what I would be in life. Let's fast forward. I left Philadelphia, moved to New York. I came to the Mecca because I knew I love Gordon Parks. This is where my spiritual guide was going to be. This is where I was going to make it happen for me. Opened up a studio with my partner in 98, 96 at Mount Vernon. Didn't know nothing about Mount Vernon but the rap music. So I just knew that was going to happen. Hoping to walk into Puffy. I would see, everybody on the street. I would get that start there. Finally, again, after all those endeavors and working with underground artists, same thing. Christopher, you need your degree. It kept, that message just kept repeating itself. And it was beating me down because I was getting older. I wasn't famous. I wasn't, my work wasn't hanging on walls. And it was eating at me. But one consistency throughout of all of that was healthcare. I always worked in a hospital since 1991. Hospital, University of Pennsylvania, got my start. I used to shoot for surgeons in their operating room. I was growing from there. I helped my nurse manager publish 2 books in 94. Perioperative nursing practice, Mary Ann Wells. You can find it, it's still there. Hopefully I'm still in the forward. And I kept growing there, but I wasn't growing outside of there. No one knew who I was. I still worked in hospitals. I'm at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. I'm work full-time by day and student at night. I love this place because it gave me my start, but it came by the most unique way. Because all of my research study assistants, some of my attendings, some of my fellows, they all were here. They kept saying, oh, Christopher, go to the new school. Go to the new school. Go to the new school. I'm like, what? All right, finally, I applied, and it was the biggest revelation of my life. I'm like, they're never going to accept me. I started my application January 2008. I came to an orientation probably like about May 2008, and I got a good talking to by one of the representatives there. Christopher, finish your online application. That was, 5 months later? I finished it. July came. A letter came in the mail, and we all know rejection letters. They come in that little thin thing. It's like, I'm like, oh, here it comes. I ripped it open, and the first thing it said was, congratulations, and you think I would win the lottery. Because I did. I got an opportunity. I got a home. And it was the new school. Big red letters, the new school. It was exciting. That was 2008. 2008 and 2009 were wonderful years for me. I was here. I just knew that finally I was going to get that degree. Got into a little financial stint, couldn't come back. Had to make my way back in 2012, and that's when I met Tracy Ann. So I gave her my story. I wanted to come back in. And she's looked down at me, literally looked down at me during this whole thing, and she's like, come see me after this. And I did. And life has never been better. I'm back. Aren't y'all excited for me? I mean, God, come on, this is a lively room. So let's forward from 2012 to now. What have I done? I have done some really great work that I thought as an artist I would never get the opportunity to do. One of those great opportunities was the Bachelor's Master's program. See, I have an endeavor. I want to be a creative art therapist. Well, what is that? I want to be licensed and board certified. I belong to the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. My chairman and my chief, my founder of my department, encouraged me right when I was getting ready to walk out and say I had enough with healthcare, had enough with photography, I had enough because I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. She says to me, read my book, come talk to me. And I did. And right inside was this creative art therapy. I'm like, what's that? Once again, another repetitive theme. I said, well, how do you get to be a creative art therapist? Lo and behold, guess what? The new school has a pathway to becoming a creative art therapist. Unfortunately, everything takes a turn. Good people have a tendency to leave me. Dr. Louise Montello was one of my educators here at the new school. And I'm bringing you down, I'm gonna bring you up. She's a phenomenal instructor. She gave me the path to become a creative art therapist, but unfortunately, she had a bigger calling upstairs. She needed to do some therapy for some folks upstairs. So in the middle of our semester, we had to celebrate it. On that ascension, the realization that my community is always here. My network is here. My pathway to becoming that creative art therapist was my bachelor's and master's. They unify. Tracy Ann keeps trying to talk me out of a PhD. I want a PhD because I want to stand next to her and hear Dr. Webster and Dr. Mills. That's all. But no, with all that said, this I made my home. The opportunity to be here, the opportunity to get in. It was long. I just hit a milestone. We don't need to tell you what it is, July, But in that milestone, I realized that I wasn't getting any younger. What I want to say to you guys is if you have the value of what's in your wallet, you have the value of what you want to do in life. You have the value, you have the guide, you have the relationships, the network. I guarantee you, if I may, just a gentleman behind the camera, Samir, I've had the opportunity to work with him on many student films, graduate films. My brother O that just left, same thing. My network has grown exponentially being in a bachelor's master's program. As an undergrad, at 50, I'm 50 years old. Come July, just passed, I'll turn 50. So I said to myself, I keep getting older, I'm in class with younger individuals, but those younger individuals give me the same respect that I give them. They give me the same encouragement that I give them. One of my colleagues, his name is Luke. Luke is this phenomenal young creative that has, Christopher, I want you on my set. And he has kept me in the loop of growing because my intentions when I graduate media studies is to have healthcare films. That's my endeavor. I want to make those healthcare films that you don't see. I love those little commercials. You ever see the NYU commercial where the two women are walking down the street and the sly older guy walks by them and they all turn back and they look? That's what I want to do. I want to create that message. I also have a campaign, a healthcare endeavor that I created here at the new school. out of my transmedia class, and that is microbrewed healthcare. But that's another long story. But I get to create that. That's my envision. That's going to be my thesis study. I'm creating a campaign for the quality of life care for men ages 40 and up to get them from point A to point B when they don't have that guide. And I'm going to use it by all the methodology, the teachings, the schooling, the networking that I've gotten here. That's what I offer you guys. Media studies, yes. Bachelors, masters, absolutely. Don't question it. Don't question it, because if you got a dream, if you value what's in your wallet, and trust me, mine is a little empty right now, but it's getting there. I value the next steps. I value everyone that's in this room, including you, because come tomorrow, you may be my colleague, and we may grow together. Any questions? Thank you.
Hi, we have one more speaker for you guys. So Alex Gleason, he did his degree at Lang in economics, and then he stayed for another year to do his master's, and he's doing some really interesting work, I think teaching and also working for a union, and he'll tell you all about all the things it's kind of amazing that he even was able to share his time with us because he's so busy and has so many projects going. But Alex?
Hi, my name is Alex. I teach here actually, and I work for the AFL-CIO in New York City, so the labor movement of New York City. I'm the policy department basically. There's one person in our shop, that's me. So I do all the policy work for the umbrella for all the unions in the city. 1.3 million members, 300 affiliated unions. I'm a lobbyist, I do campaign work, a little bit of everything, frankly. So I went here to the new school. Oh yeah, and I'm a college professor at SUNY Empire State College. I teach public politics and policy there. I teach here at the new school a tutorial advising seminar course. I taught it last spring, hopefully either this spring or next fall. I'll be teaching that again. You should all take my class. It'll be really interesting. I give good readings, good guest speakers. Please come. And I've taught at City Tech in the past, labor management relations. So I did my bachelor's and my master's here in economics. I finished my bachelor's in 2012 and my master's in 2013. I finished them both in 4 years because I really kind of jammed it through, got it done. And, frankly, the pitch I would make for doing this program, if I were to make a pitch, is you are going to save so much money. And I'm guessing you are trying to find out a way to economize and justify going to a university that is, like, what does it cost here now, $56,000 a year, I'm guessing, right? Like, you need a way to really get a high return on investment on that, right? Because otherwise, you're frankly not going to get as far as you might like, and it might hinder your ability to do more in the future. This is the best way to get your money back. This is the best way to leave here with the prospect that if you want to work, some people don't, some people want to write, some people want to travel, and if you want to do that, that's great too, and being a worldly educated person, which is why the new school was created in the first place, is amazing, so you should always get more education. But if you're looking for a way to really get back your money, doing this program is the way to do it. And I can tell you right now, had I not gotten my master's degree, I would not be in the position I'm in now. I'm only in the position I'm in now because I got a graduate degree here. And I was able to show what I know. And if you're getting a degree at the new school, you will be able to show what you know. It's a great institution. And really take advantage of it. I'm telling you, the opportunity cost of going through a year of finding a graduate school that fits, of taking the GRE, of taking it again, of going through the whole rigmarole, it's really not worth your time and energy. And you can always get another degree. Like, I'm looking at getting another degree now too, a terminal degree of some kind, either an MPA, an MBA, or even a doctorate perhaps. But it sets you up that you're more formidable. And frankly, that's really what you need to be thinking about if your goal is to work, again, if your goal is to work full-time when you leave here and you want to be formidable, you're going to need as much education as possible. And I'm not saying that in a way to be like, everybody needs to go to school. I'm saying that in a way that you're going to be competing against a lot of very talented people. And you have been trained here to think dynamically, and having that extra pedigree is the easiest, best way possible to leverage what you know and get screened through to get the interview so that you get the job doing what you want to do. And I really can't say enough that this program is worth your time and your money, even if you don't go on, even if you decide, frankly, look, I don't really want to get a graduate degree right now. Having 4 graduate courses on your transcript is going to look good either way. Either way, that's something you can market. That's a testament to your abilities and your talents. And it doesn't, I mean, it's what, $50, $75 to apply, right? Or it's free? Oh, it's free. It's free to apply. So you should definitely just apply then if it's free. I mean, you lose absolutely nothing. Worst case scenario, you try it, you don't like it, and it's like those, these car ads you see this day. You can drive it for 5 days, and if you don't like it, you can give it back. You get 2 semesters, 3 semesters worth of a taste of graduate school. And if you like graduate school, that's fantastic. And now you have 9, 12 credits that you can take with you and finish it in 1 year. And frankly, it'll make your folks really proud. And like, you'll be able to, you have friends, I'm sure you all have friends who are like, real nose in the air kind of people. And you can be like, oh, that's great. Oh, you're applying to graduate school now? I already finished my graduate degree. So enjoy that extra year of going through grad school and not making money while I'm making money. And trust me, once you're all trying to like pay rent and the lease is coming due every year, you're going to be like, man, I'm so happy I got that graduate degree and now I can stay in my fantastic Brooklyn apartment rather than having to move somewhere else. And we all know that's really the goal, to stay here as long as possible, right? And so I'm going to wrap up talking. I can talk more about the issues I work on and things if you want to hear about that, but I know you're all here more to really like learn about a program and learn about the value of a program. So I'm happy to take any concrete questions. I'll also leave my business cards, which I have over. Yeah, so we'll leave my business cards, and if you're interested or you need anything, you can email me. I worked with one of the fellows, the research fellows, over the summer, and if that's something you're interested in, I don't know if they're going to offer the program next summer, but if they do, I'm always looking for people to do research, and yeah, so I'm happy to take any questions or anything. Oh, by the way, Leah Wyke, I have to give her a shout out. She was my college advisor, and she's awesome. And like, Leah Wyke is in your corner, and if she's in your corner, you're going to be okay. Trust me. She had to straighten me out and fly me right a couple times, and she pulled some strings for me to get me into classes, and she's awesome. So I have to give her a shout out any opportunity I get. And I know my roommate loves her too.
Thanks, guys. So any questions for Leila? Well, any questions for Leila? I think Alex probably has to get back to work because you've heard how much he does. And Christopher may have to go to class. So any questions for them? Are you here? Any questions for Alex? All right, well, we'll leave his card.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Alex is a tough act to follow, but I'm going to do my best. And really, I'm sure now we have you all excited to consider applying to the Bachelor's Master's program. So we just want to sort of walk you through the requirements and the process to hopefully simplify it for you, even though it is quite simple. So you need to be either completed 60 undergraduate credits or in the process of completing 60 credits as you approach this sort of Bachelor's Master's pathway. You'll need a cumulative GPA of at least a 3.3. And if you're sort of borderline, again, it's always good to just approach the admissions office and talk to us about whether or not you could still apply. You need to have completed or be in the process of completing 4 undergraduate courses that are relevant to the graduate area of study that you're thinking about for your master's pairing, and have at least a 3.0 in those related courses. And then you're going to work with your advisor to fill out the declaration of intent form and write a short sort of personal statement about why you'd like to pursue the Bachelor's Master's program, and we'll go through the application process itself in just a couple of slides. And then when you transition, essentially what it means is if you're completing graduate level courses while you're still in your undergraduate program, upon completion of your bachelor's, you'll transition to the master's, and then you're going to work with the advising office to have those credits that you previously completed sort of swing over to your master's course of study, so that we don't like to use double counting as a phrase, but in a way you're sort of getting credit for both taking that class as an undergraduate and a graduate course, which is why it's a shortened period of time. Now, as of right now, there are 43 approved bachelor's master's pairings. So We essentially present to the New York State Board of Education programs that we feel are appropriate for both the bachelor's and the master's pairings. And I will show you, well, actually at the end of the presentation, we'll also give you sort of handouts that include the current list of pairings, and then there's a website for the bachelor's master's program which will very clearly show you everything that has been paired already. And essentially know that the list is subject to change, so we sometimes add programs and we sometimes lose programs, but you'll want to consult with the admissions office and the advisors to find the pairing that might make the most sense for you. And right now we do have pairings that exist between Lang and the bachelor's program for adult and transfer students, in coordination with and COPA undergrad as well, with the College of Performing Arts, the New School for Social Research, the Milano School of International Affairs Management and Urban Policy, School of Media Studies, School of Languages, which is our TESOL master's program, and Parsons. And again, there's a full list that you'll want to kind of carefully go through and see which pairings are there, and we'll be handing that out at the end of the presentation. And here is just a quick glance of the list. So the master's degree programs are the ones in bold, and the undergraduate programs that are currently paired are just below it in non-bold. And I know it's, you know, we're not going to leave this up all day, so you guys will get the handout so that you can see it in your own time, and then also go to the BAMA website. Okay, so now Dana's going to walk you through the application process.
All right, so the first step when you're applying is to meet with your advisor, right? So Tracy Ann and Leah are in the room, so you want to set up an appointment. You want to talk about where you are in your curriculum. Even if you're not applying this semester, it's a good opportunity to meet with them, because you can ask questions about what other classes I should be taking next semester, so that next semester I've got the best application possible. I'll also mention that another good person to talk to is your Director of Undergraduate Studies in whatever department you're in. They will also give you really good advice about what classes that you should be taking. They are typically the people reading your application, so it doesn't hurt to get to know them and get to know the faculty member and hear what they're looking for in that bachelor's, master's student. But step one is absolutely meeting with Leah and Tracy Ann. Then we have a JOT form. So applications to grad school look a lot like applications to college, right? The Common App is a pain. I won't use the other word, but it's a pain, right? Ours is a really simple form. It's basically your name, your year, what you want to transition into for the bachelor's, master's program, and a very short essay on why you think this program is a good fit for your academic goals and what you're going to bring to the program. It is really quick. It should take you, I mean, you should spend a little time on the essay, maybe show it again to Leah or to Tracy Ann, show it to a faculty member if you're close with them. Don't just write it in 5 minutes, but this shouldn't take you more than an hour or two to complete. It's a very simple application as compared to applying to graduate school. We have a priority deadline, so if you're thinking about starting next semester, the spring deadline is September 25th. And the fall deadline for fall 2018 is going to be February 10th. This is priority. The idea is that we will get you your notification back before enrollment begins, but we do accept late applications. So if you are busy with exams or papers, if you decide I don't want to do it, and then come November, it's Thanksgiving, and your parents are giving you a hard time about why you didn't do it, you can still submit that application. We do take late applications, but you'll have missed the priority deadline for registration for grad classes for the next semester. It doesn't mean you won't get the grad courses, but that's why we have those as the priority date and not the final date. So what happens is that we get the application. It is reviewed, as I said, by the faculty, by the department, and they're going to read your essay, they're going to look at your transcript. That's really all it is. There's no letters of recommendation, which you would need for the other applications. We will send you, I don't know why we still say mail. Our decisions are emailed because we're green. We're a green part of the university, so you will get an email from us letting you know your decision. We will send decisions in early November, if not sooner, for spring, and then in mid-March for fall. And then you should meet with your graduate advisor, not just Tracy Ann and Leah, but actually with the department to help select what courses are going to be the best fit for you. So someone like Alex really was able to run through this program, in part because he took advantage of the advising his department gave him. There are certain foundation courses. So if you are in economics, for example, registering for a really advanced mathematical graduate economics course when you haven't taken the basic econ courses, even at the graduate level, it's not going to work out well for you. So these advisors are going to be a really good fit for telling you what you should be registering for, what you should be doing over the course of 4 semesters, 3, 2 semesters, so that you're also leaving time to get the most out of your Lang degree, right? This is meant as to complement your Lang degree and not take over your whole life. So they're going to be really good at working with you to make sure you're getting the best of both. Once you are in your semester, your final semester, you submit to us a little form. It's even simpler than the first form you filled out that tells us that you want to continue on to the master's. So as Alex alluded to, this program does not obligate you to go on to the master's degree. You will get your bachelor's degree when you graduate. And if at the end of that period of time you decide, I don't want to go on to my master's degree right now, I have a job offer, I have an opportunity to do some sort of fellowship in another country, and that's really what I want to focus on, you will get your bachelor's degree and you don't have to continue on to the master's. Of course, we hope everyone who participates in this program does, but you don't lose anything by participating. You're not missing out on your opportunity to complete your bachelor's and take some other step in life, right? So you do have to tell us that you want to continue on to your master's. We look at your transcript. You have to have a B or better in all of the graduate courses that you take. And then you will get a letter from us admitting you officially into the master's program. We do offer scholarships to students for the master's program. So in addition to being able to swing over your 12 to 18 credits, depending on the program, you will also get an additional scholarship for the remaining credits. So this really is a great opportunity to save a lot of time and money towards a master's degree. And then you will meet again with your master's advisor, your student advisor in the department to register for your master's classes, and you're officially a member of that department. I can tell you for NSSR, and I think it's true for others, a lot of the faculty think of you as a BAMA student, as a member of the department already. So you're going to get invited to mixers with graduate students if they're having events for the master's department. They will invite you to those events, so you really get to know faculty as a Lang student or a BPAT student. You will still sort of maintain that Lang and BPAT status, but the folks at the graduate departments are also going to really want to incorporate you into their community. So you get to add a second community while you're an undergrad, which I think is a really nice thing. And getting to know faculty, no matter what you do in life, is always to your benefit, because they know lots of people in employment and lots of people at other graduate schools if you choose to do something else after your time here. And that's it. So we wanted to leave a lot of time for questions, because I know this is sort of a new process. So to many of you, what kind of questions do you guys have?
So our advisor isn't here. The one person we'd email, so we would just take the card and email that way.
Yeah, so the advisor isn't here, and Kevin, who we've got his card up front, is actually in the admissions office, and he can talk through for you the nuts and bolts. He's also actually in the arts management program. So he's a really good resource for those interested in arts management, both on the admissions side and on the tell me what it's like to be a student in this program side.
But his name is Kevin Smith. You can also find him on our website.
Yeah, we gotta run that microphone over. Or I could also just repeat the question, which might be the way to go.
Thank you. So if you're a transfer student and you transferred in with a bunch of credits, do those credits count as the 60 credits that you need to already have been in the bachelor's? Like if I transferred in with 80 or whatever, could I already be taking graduate classes next semester?
Yes, so those do count, but each department does want to see coursework in their area. So if you transferred in, remind me what program you're interested in.
I think journalism.
Journalism.
Yes.
So if you haven't taken any journalism classes here or previously, then they want to see at least a semester where you're taking some of the classes that might be relevant. But I can talk with you afterwards, because Jim Miller and Rachel Rosenfeld are really interested in working with students. They had the CPCJ, the Creative Publishing and Critical Journalism Masters.
Okay.
So they can also give you advice as you're thinking about applying too.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I understand there was a group of undergraduate students that were admitted into the BAMA program, like the BAMA cohort members. Do they still have to do this application process, or is that separate?
Sure. So the question was about a group of students who are actually sort of admitted to the BAMA program as incoming freshmen. Yes, and I think the shorthand for that is BMAD. But yes, they were kind of selected through the Eugene Lang admissions process as pre-qualifying for the bachelor's, master's, and having expressed interest in it when they were applying as freshmen. The process is somewhat similar, but there's additional kind of advising and.
So
Yeah.
you don't have to fill out the JOT form, but you do have to let Jane McNamara know that you want to continue on to the program, and you submit a different form. There is no essay in that form, so it's even shorter than the really short form that everyone else has to fill out. And as long as you meet the GPA threshold, you'll be automatically admitted as opposed to having faculty review the application. But you do have to notify us that you want to continue on. We don't force people. In the same way we don't issue those admit letters to the master's program, we don't admit you into the BAMA portion of the program unless you raise your hand and say, I'm interested. Yeah.
I just graduated last semester. Is the process different?
Sure. So if you've already graduated, so this is a good question. I'm actually going to expand the question about whether you've already graduated to include, I'm interested in a master's that is not mapped to my major. So if you've already graduated or you're in that second category, you actually do have to complete the master's application as opposed to the JOT form for us. We will waive the application fee. We can waive in the admissions often, the GRE scores, so we can make it a little bit simpler for you. But what you can do, although you have to fill out this larger application, is still swing over credits. So if you took graduate courses as an undergrad and you graduated last year, or you took graduate courses, let's say you want to do psychology, but your degree is in media and culture, right? That's not a pathway that's mapped, but you took 3 psychology graduate classes. Even though you're not going through the BAMA program and you have to complete the full application, we'll still allow you to swing over those graduate classes in which you've got a B or better. So you are still able to save some time towards your master's degree and money towards your master's degree. Yeah.
Are these only pairings that's allowed?
Yes. So these pairings are approved by the state. I wish I could say, yeah, for you I would do one more. But that's why I mentioned if you are an undergraduate student and your pairing doesn't line up with what you want for your master's, you should still be registering for those graduate courses. You should still meet with the student advisor in the graduate program or with the DUS, the Director of Undergraduate Studies, because when you apply for your master's, you'll be able to swing over those credits. So that will shorten the time to degree for your master's and also reduce the cost of your master's. And again, you'll still be eligible for the same scholarships we're considering the BAMA students for.
And again, if there's a program you're interested in that the new school offers that is not a part of the pairings list, you can always meet with the members of the graduate admissions staff about how to apply, how to submit the application. You know, we're always happy to assist current students, of course.
Yeah, and we'll make it as painless as possible. So again, we'll waive the fee. We can waive the GRE scores, but it is a longer application, just not quite as bad. Other questions? Yeah.
You said that there were scholarships available. I was wondering, like, same level as one we get as an undergrad?
It's different because these are merit-based aid, so it's not need-based where we're looking at your undergraduate scholarship. Right now, the levels are set at, if you were in a 3.5 or above overall, we would give you a 40% scholarship. If it's below that, we would give you a 20% scholarship. It may change. If it changes, I expect it to go up, not down. We usually hold the line on what we offer students, so it may get better. But if you, for NSSR, right, you can bring in 12 credits, so that's 40% of your degree, and then you could potentially have 40% off the cost of the remaining 60% of your degree. So you're really getting a scholarship that's worth close to 70% of the tuition. It's a pretty substantial reduction when you consider both the credits that you don't pay for and the scholarship on top of it.
Sorry, just regarding that, the scholarships, all of it are merit-based? Do we have to apply separately for those? Or
No, and this is true for both students who are submitting the MA application and for those that are submitting just the notice saying they want to go on. We award merit scholarships. On the MA application, there is a box that says, please consider me. There are people every year who don't check that box, which I don't quite understand. Even if you could afford it, why wouldn't you want a discount? That's just how that's how I live my life. But you don't have to submit any other essay. We will give it to you based on the merit of your application. Other questions? Yeah.
This is kind of piggyback on something that you might have already answered like 2 questions ago, but potentially if you are interested in a pairing that doesn't exist, you're suggesting that it's better to take those grad classes before, like in the pairing that you wish existed, and then apply to the one that does exist and kind of like transfer those over?
Not quite. So if you're interested in a pairing that doesn't exist, you should be registering for grad classes now as an undergraduate and still meeting with the faculty member. And then when you are in your last semester, or even before then, in your last year, applying to the masters. You can't apply to a different pairing because the BAMA pathways are set by the state. So I would encourage you to take those grad classes and then just apply for a master's. And I do have students that do that. Every year I read 4 or 5 of those students, and they are able to swing over credits. So it's it's a little bit more cumbersome than the bachelor's master's program. You don't quite get the priority registration, and the application itself is a little bit more time consuming, but you can get the main benefit, which is the courses for free in the master's program.
I just want to add though quickly, obviously consult with your advisor because not all undergraduate students have access to graduate level courses if they're not part of pairing. So, start the conversation early, speak to your advisors, come and talk to the graduate admissions office if it is, again, a program that's not paired. And, we just can't make any promises that graduate level courses are open to all undergrads.
And that's, again, where meeting with the faculty member, which I can't stress enough, meeting with the faculty member can also help a lot because they often can waive, they are often the ones that waive undergraduate students into grad level classes. But really, getting to know the faculty member cannot hurt you in any way. It can, no matter what you decide to do when you leave this room, if that's the one piece of advice you take, getting to know faculty in your department can only help you in your path here at the new school, but also when you graduate. Faculty are always are almost always willing to pick up the phone and make a phone call for you or send an email on your behalf for something that you're interested in. And I think, when I stepped outside to talk to Alex, he wants to potentially come back for a PhD, and he's been in contact with one of the economics faculty members about what he wants to do and what he wants to study, right? So that's the relationship that if he wants to come back will help him get into the PhD program. Yeah.
Is there anyone specific to talk to about kind of like a psychology pathway?
Yeah, so Howard Steele is the chair of the psychology department and reads the applications for the bachelor's master's program. I know from experience he also is really encouraging of psychology students to get involved in labs as undergraduates, and so even before you apply, it's great to set a meeting with him and to talk about your interest in the bachelor's master's program and also what labs might be available to you as an undergraduate student. He really likes to see students in the labs, and when they're in the labs, they're almost always admitted into that bachelor's master's program. He admits those that aren't, but if he knows you and he knows you're really committed to the important part of research that comes with that program, he's really excited to admit those students. Yeah.
For international students, specifically, that we always have full scholarship and another scholarship from Latin America. How it works in terms of scholarship for international students?
Sure. So international students are really treated like domestic students in the grad pool. The scholarship that I mentioned, the 40%, is offered both to domestic and to international students. They're not treated differently. It will not be reduced based on any international scholarships. So if you're able to continue to get scholarships from your home country, that's really the best approach to meet that gap. We won't write you a check for the difference, right? So if they're giving you 100%, we're not going to give you 40% in cash. But we won't say, oh, you're getting 60% for them, maybe we'll only give you 20 or 30. We'll give you the 40, so that will cover the cost of tuition. But there aren't additional scholarships for international students.
I think the main thing is if you're getting an outside scholarship, again, in your sort of final year, you should talk to that scholarship organization to say, I want to continue to my master's, could this external scholarship still be applied to my graduate study? And that's something that you'll need to correspond with them about. It's probably a good place to stop the sort of formal Q&A and the recording, but we're going to stick around and still answer some questions informally. So if you'd like to come up and approach us, that's what we're here for. We're also putting our business cards on the table that was just outside by the check-in. So if you'd like to grab any of those, Alex's business cards, that would be great as well. We'll just keep the conversation going, guys. We're physically here on campus, so if you have questions, don't be a stranger. Reach out to us in admissions, talk to your advisors. That's what they're here for too. And best of luck to you this semester as you continue your studies. And we hope to hear from you and get your BAMA applications real soon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.
And grab this on the way out too,
Oh, yes.
so that you have all the
Cheat
all the
sheet.
facts. Thank you.